Nice to meet you. I have no slides, so I
No
go
problem.
directly. Okay, many thanks. First of all, thanks for the invitation and for the topics that you are discussing. That is very interesting. I would like to stress the integration among different experience that we have attempted to perform in the last 15 years. And I hope to give you an idea of how different technologies and different ideas may merge together to obtain something of new and smart for public administration. First of all, we focus on creating an ultra broadband network devoted to public administration. Our idea was to connect all the public administration we have in our region. That is more than 300 municipalities, a lot of hospitals, a lot of aggregation of municipalities, and so on. So we arrived to create an infrastructure with more than 5,000 points directly fed by optical fiber, and so with a very high throughput, low latency, and all the characteristics of ultra broadband network. So that is let's say the first element of our construction of smart public administration. The second was that since we have a network that is available for all the public administration, makes sense to leave this infrastructure available also for, let's say, telecommunication operators that sometimes where no network is present, need some basic infrastructures. And so optical fiber, worldwide peering, internet exchange connection to create low latency. So we create a systems of different operators, more than 50 is present now, that is working on the area. Other point is regarding Wi-Fi. We decided to create a free Wi-Fi, where free means no money to access, but means also no authentication to access. So with these three different meaning. And in particular, actually, we have more than 10K access points, so 10,000 access points with about 2.5 million of unique users. So it seems that is very winning, starting from something on free and arriving to collect a so large number of citizens that access to the network for free and in an easy way. Then we go to the school, and we decided to connect all the school with 1 gigabit per second connection, free of charge for the school itself. So very easy to use with a very easy infrastructure, a very easy model to be interconnected. I give you some brief detail regarding ultra broadband because that is one of the elements I say. The other is data centers. We create a data center where to collect and integrate all the computational storage that we had. And essentially, we arrive to have more than 300 different public administration going inside these 4 data centers and leaving more than 500 different data centers was spread without security and without an attention to environment, for example, in terms of energy dissipation and so on. So this is the second element, infrastructure of networking and infrastructure of data center. So we start with some service that we put in the mix. The first is a directory of all the health service we give. Not all of the service, but of the document that we produce. So the idea is to have just a single system that integrate all the documents that public administration from the health point of view produce and give access to this document wherever you are. That means that if you change medical system, if you change the person that is in charge of you, you continue to have with yourself all the data regarding your past, and you are immediately able to go to the future. That was quite good. If you put another component, that is the possibility to have a system to identify users. We have a lot of different identification of users before, and in Italy we arrived to a unique system that is unique for public administration, but we are hoping will become unique also for private. And so having a universal identity able to accessing all service starting from public and going to the private. That's another element. With this element, we attempt first of all to manage some big data from the public administration point of view, and think that smart PA, smart public administration need to have some big data. And we attempted to create a model. I don't know how new or novel it is, but the idea is to move algorithm to reach the data and not to move the data to reach the algorithm. So in this way, you have that the data stay where they are, and the algorithm step by step going to the data, and is able to produce results just by using the data that is present in such a place without a problem regarding privacy, because one of the more big issue he have is the privacy management regarding data. So if you don't move data, you don't move privacy, and you have a quite simple mechanism. I think that it is important for a smart public administration and service of public administration, because giving results means having a lot of data to process, a lot of data to correlate, a lot of data to show results. So that's idea is developed in last years, and now is working quite well. Having a quite great network, we decide also to transport all the data regarding IoT inside this network. So we leave for all the sensors that we can have in our territory the possibility to have a transportation for free of such a data from the place where it is collected to a place where there is a domain interface that allow to catch some data to process in another way. So we put with very few money a lot of base station collectors able to cover the whole territories by using the fact that we have optical fiber everywhere, and we was able to collect the data coming from the sensor and to create a public sensor network for the public, but also using such a network to transport the private IoT data to the private owner, using this data for public where the public needs such kind of data. With this, we perform some monitoring, for example, of fragility. Old man, old woman living alone in such a house has a problem to know from parents, from relatives, for example, if all is running good. And so putting some little sensor, very easy to interconnect, because if you have a world coverage, no money is necessary to interconnect such a system. You are able, for example, to check if there is some movement inside the house, if there is some people on the floor, if there is someone switching on and off light, that means that is moving, something is good. So we are correlating a lot of data that we are collecting from the house in order to have some feedback regarding the state of the people staying in the house. And then the last topic that we have developed is regarding the use of artificial intelligence in this model. First of all, we are attempting for public administration to self-organizing incoming documents without someone that is looking to single document to reading. So just to labeling, just to know what is the correct area to process some kind of document, and don't leave people in a knowing process, but leaving to where smartness is necessary. The second is the ability of artificial intelligence to answer to citizens just by collecting all the data with the system I previously described, but now is to answer something. So some bot that is able, as a function of the data we have, to give answers. The final frontier, but we are working on that, and I don't know how much will be simple to obtain, is the auto creation of authorization. So artificial intelligence that create document in terms of authorization. So something that allows someone to make something, that allow to build a house, to build something, for example, that usually is a quite complex process, both from the native complexity and for the responsibility that is inside such a process. So that's the idea of something that we are attempting to create for smart PR, starting from infrastructure and going to service, going, let's say, to the flow of information that we need in order to obtain something for citizens.
Okay, Dr. Mazzini, thank you very much for this very interesting presentation and for sharing these really impressive efforts to network everything and to offer services and monitoring of delicate situations. Thank you very much. Are there questions for Dr. Mazzini? We still have one.
I have just one curiosity. During his talk, he talked about, without moving the data, moving the algorithms to the data to protect the data privacy or data security. So I would just like to ask him what kind of, did he mean anything about federated learning process, or what kind of tools that he is using to achieve this goal?
Thank you.
Yeah. The main problem is not the tool, but it's the process again. Just because if you take the algorithm and you put the algorithm over the data, you have, first of all, to analyze the algorithm, to have a block analysis, an ethical analysis, output analysis of what can such an algorithm will do. So our tool and our process is regarding to analysis of the algorithm and to the declaration regarding what kind of effect such an algorithm will have. So it's not such a simple, I don't know. If I think to a network, I say you a firewall. If I think to a internet, I see an internet protection system. Yours is more complex because you have to check from the algorithm point of view, what is the kind of process it performs, what is the kind of output, and in particular, what is the ethical approach that such an algorithm performs.